So hello students, let us start glycolysis in a very simple manner. So all of you must be knowing glycolysis is a very important pathway in all the living cells, starting from the microorganisms to the macroorganisms, including human beings. In all these cells, energy is required. So this is the pathway which will give you energy in the form of ATP. So in this pathway, we require a glucose molecule. So this glucose is oxidized, that is lysis. Breakdown of glucose is called as glycolysis. So it will break and it will give you two molecules of pyruvate with the liberation of energy. So this entire process, it takes place in the cytoplasm. So the site of occurrence here is cytoplasm. And it takes around 10 steps. So total steps in the pathway is 10, and in this 10 steps you should remember there are 3 steps which are irreversible. 3 steps which are irreversible. These steps are the key steps, the rate regulating steps of this glycolysis, and remaining 7 steps, they are the reversible steps. So first we will see the steps in which energy is utilized. Those steps are called as energy investment stage. So here we are using energy. So it will start from glucose, which is phosphorylated to glucose 6-phosphate, and it is isomerized to fructose 6-phosphate, and finally it is again phosphorylated to fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. So here in 2 places you can see addition of phosphate is taking place, here as well as here. So there should be some donor. So ATP, that is our universal energy currency, it is used here also and here also. So 1 phosphate will be added to glucose here. So it will become from triphosphate to adenine diphosphate. Similarly here phosphofructokinase is the enzyme which converts fructose 6-phosphate to fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. So here also one ATP is converted to ADP. So let us see what are the enzymes here. So remember students, wherever you have addition of phosphates, there you can see kinases are the main important enzymes. So here it is a hexose. We are phosphorylating a hexose. So the enzyme here is hexokinase. Hexokinase. This enzyme you should remember because this is an important enzyme of the irreversible step. I told you out of 10 steps, there are 3 steps which are irreversible. So this is one of the step which is irreversible. Then you have glucose 6-phosphate to fructose 6-phosphate conversion. So this is just isomerization. So the enzyme is phosphoglucose isomerase. You can also call it as phosphohexose isomerase. And since again we are phosphorylating fructose 6-phosphate to fructose 1,6-bisphosphate by using one ATP. So here another kinase will come. So this is called as phosphofructokinase. Phosphofructokinase. So please remember this enzyme also, because this is also an enzyme of irreversible reaction. So this is the second irreversible reaction of glycolysis. And from glucose to fructose 1,6-bisphosphate, we can see we are utilizing 2 ATP molecules. Students, please remember how many ATPs we are using, how many ATPs we are producing in this particular pathway. That will help you in calculating the energetics of glycolysis. So these steps, from step 1 to step 3, these steps they come under stage 1 of glycolysis, which is called as energy investment stage. Now after this stage, you can see the 6 carbon containing fructose molecule, it will split. So the next phase after this is the splitting phase. So let us see the splitting phase in detail. So a quick look of the splitting phase let us take. It's very simple. So in the first energy investment stage, we have got fructose 1,6 bisphosphate, right? So energy investment state, we produced fructose 1,6 bisphosphate from glucose. Now this will have 6 carbons, so it will split. So again, top one arrow mark you put, down also arrow, because these are also reversible reactions. Here the enzyme is aldolase. So it's a reverse of aldol condensation. So as a result, you will get two trioses, out of which one will be ketose sugar, another will be aldose sugar. So the ketose sugar is named as dihydroxyacetone phosphate, DHAP, that is dihydroxyacetone phosphate, and another one will be an aldehyde sugar which is called as glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. So this is our step number 4, and this is the reversible reaction. So we have to remember mainly the irreversible reactions. Okay. Then this glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, again it will be oxidized and phosphorylated. So oxidative phosphorylation happens. So here for phosphorylation, we are not using ATP. Instead, one inorganic phosphate molecule will be used, because this is the splitting phase. Here we are not utilizing energy. So here only one inorganic phosphate, PI, that is used, and there will be formation of NADH from one NAD. So this is a NAD dependent enzyme. So dehydrogenation reaction is happening where NAD will be converted to NADH plus H plus. And this glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, it will be converted to 1,3 bisphospho, because 2 phosphates are there, bisphosphoglycerate. So there is one more small step here, because once the DHAP is formed, what is the role of this DHAP? This DHAP, it can convert to glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate by isomerase reaction. So here this is step number 5. Here you will be both are trioses, both are having phosphates. So the name can be triose phosphate isomerase. Triose phosphate isomerase. So the DHAP is formed, which is again converted to glyceraldehyde. So from one fructose 1,6 bisphosphate by aldolase, we get one DHAP and one glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. This DHAP again isomerizes to glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate by triose phosphate isomerase enzyme. This is step number 5. This is step number 6. These are all reversible steps. So here this splitting phase is only this much. Okay. Now starting from this 7th step, we will start. From here onwards, the glycolytic phase is called as the 3rd phase. So the name of the 3rd phase is payoff phase, or the energy generation phase. Payoff or energy generation phase, because from here onwards you can see there will be production of energy. So once the glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is converted to 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate, so here this will be again a high energy molecule. So you should remember this high energy molecule here. So for the formation of this high energy molecule, the enzyme which is called as glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenase. So this is a dehydrogenation reaction. So glyceraldehyde is oxidized and also phosphorylated to form 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. So one inorganic phosphate and one NAD is used, which is reduced to NADH plus H plus, and the enzyme here is glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenase. So we started the payoff phase. Now from here you can see since this is the high energy compound phosphagen, so when it hydrolyzes its high energy phosphate, it liberates energy. That energy is used for the formation of ATP. So from this stage we can see there are some steps where ATP is generated. Okay, so this is the first step where ATP is generated, where 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. Okay, from here this first position the phosphate is released, so it will now form 3-phosphoglycerate, because first position phosphate is released. 3-phosphoglycerate. So here again, because we are converting ADP to ATP here, in this case ADP will be phosphorylated here and it is forming ATP. So this step is very important. Why? Because here we can see ATP is formed. So whenever ATP is formed, whenever the phosphorylation is happening, like here ADP is phosphorylated to ATP, so enzyme must be kinase. So right, so here the name of the enzyme is bisphosphoglycerate kinase, or phosphoglycerate kinase also you can tell. Okay, bisphosphoglycerate kinase or phosphoglycerate kinase. Now what happens is, this 3-phosphoglycerate, it will be converted into 2-phosphoglycerate. So this is done by a very important enzyme called as phosphoglycerate mutase. So remember students, wherever this mutase is coming, there will be a shift of a particular group in the molecule from one place to another place. So here the position of phosphate is 3rd place. Now here the position of phosphate is 2nd place. That means from 3rd position to 2nd position the phosphate has moved. So now it is 3-phosphoglycerate converted to 2-phosphoglycerate. So enzyme is phosphoglycerate mutase. Okay. So from here onwards the reaction is very interesting and it is important, because now we are going to produce another high energy phosphate compound. So before going to the next step, let me see tell some important thing about this step number 8. So this step number 8 is also called as substrate level phosphorylation. Substrate level phosphorylation, because here this is a high energy molecule 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. So it is hydrolyzed and the high energy phosphate group is donated to ADP to form ATP. So and from the substrate we are getting ATP molecule. The energy from the substrate is used for formation of ATP molecule. So at the substrate level only the phosphorylation is happening for ADP to form ATP. So it is called as substrate level phosphorylation. So like this, in glycolysis we can generate phosphates from substrate level phosphorylations. So like that, in glycolysis you have 2 substrate level phosphorylations. So this is the first substrate level phosphorylation, that is step number 8. So now we have produced 2-phosphoglycerate. So now we will see how the 2-phosphoglycerate is further metabolized. So this is our 2-phosphoglycerate. Right. So now this 2-phosphoglycerate, so these are all reversible steps. So from here one water molecule will be released. So this is done by a hydrolase enzyme which is called as enolase. Enolase. So when water is removed, so you will get another high energy compound here, that is called as phosphoenol pyruvate. Phosphoenol pyruvate. This is also written as PEP. PEP. Okay. Like we have seen in the step number 8, how the 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate is forming a ATP molecule. Same way here this high energy molecule, that is phosphoenol pyruvate, also can form one ATP molecule. So this is the next step where ATP is generated. So ADP is phosphorylated and it forms ATP at the level of substrate only to form pyruvate. So this is the final step and also the important step of the pathway. So remember student, initially we have seen 2 irreversible steps. This is the third irreversible step and also the last step of glycolysis. So because here phosphorylation is happening, so again the enzyme must be some kinase. So the name of the enzyme here is pyruvate kinase. Pyruvate kinase. Right? So it's very simple. So in this reaction there are only 10 steps and we can divide it into 3 phases and we can study. First phase is the energy investment stage. Energy investment stage. In this stage energy is used to play 2 ATPs were utilized here, right? So here glucose is finally converted to fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. Then we have splitting phase. So in this splitting phase, the fructose 1,6-bisphosphate, that is a hexose 6 carbon containing compound, it will split into 2 trioses. Each one will have 3 carbons. So it is splitting phase. These are all both the trioses are interconvertible. Okay. Then we will be having a special phase that is called as payoff or energy generating phase. Energy generating phase. So this is the phase where we will produce ATP molecules. So in this phase we can see there is a total 4 ATPs are generated. And also there is 2 NADH generation is happening. So why it is 4? Because I have shown you that only 2 places ATP was formed. But here you should remember that in the stage 5 of our pathway, DHAP, it was interconverted to glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate by triose phosphate isomerase. So in this step, whatever DHAP is there, it is converted to glyceraldehyde. So one glyceraldehyde we get from directly from fructose. So this will finally give you a pyruvate. So in this step, we have seen that there is liberation of 2 ATPs, right? Now this DHAP also becomes glyceraldehyde. That also will be finally converted to pyruvate. So this also will give you 2 ATPs, right? So total 4 ATPs are produced. So we can write plus 4 ATPs because we are generating. Same way, from one glyceraldehyde we get 1 NADH. DHAP also becomes glyceraldehyde, so that also will give you 1 NADH. So there will be 2 NADH, right? So now 1 NADH is equal to 3 ATPs. Now there are 2, so it will be equal to 3 2s are 6. Total 6 ATPs are formed from 2 NADH. So plus 6 ATP you can write, right? So total how many we are producing? Total we are producing 4 plus 6, 10. But don't forget this, in energy investment we have used 2 ATPs in the beginning. So minus 2. When you calculate, it will come as 6 plus 4, 10, 10 minus 2, 8. Plus 8 net ATPs are formed in aerobic glycolysis. It is very simple. In anaerobic glycolysis, this NADH which is produced, it will be reutilized in the conversion of pyruvate to lactate or alcohols. So this will not be counted. So in such cases, without this, only this 4 ATPs plus 2 ATPs you have to calculate. In anaerobic conditions, this will not be there. So in such cases, 4 minus 2, you will get only 2. So plus 2 ATPs you will get in anaerobic conditions. Aerobic, you will get more, that is 8 ATPs are formed. So hope it is clear.